All right, Simon. Simon, you there?
I'm here.
All right. I'm looking forward to Simon talking with you. Simon Thomas, CEO of DOBI Real Estate, talking about just navigating through today's market and real estate. Simon, one of the things I love about your background is how you tie in hospitality and have just basically created a whole new brand for residential real estate. Can you kind of talk a little bit about that? Because I think right now in today's market, it's so important for people to have a brand, and many people don't. And I think that's one of the things that you are just knocking out of the park.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, as far as the hospitality business goes, I grew up, in a banquet hall business with my father and my brother, it was just ingrained in me service and really just, it was banquet halls. We did a lot of weddings. It was the most important day of people's lives every day. So every day was, you had to be on. And I've just kind of carried that through with DOBI. And when we started DOBI, we had a lot of traction. We still do have a lot of traction of people who are very interested in DOBI, agents coming on board. And a lot of people would ask me, like, where is this all coming from? Like, how are you doing this? Like, do you have some technology? Do you have, they all thought we had something that's like, groundbreaking. And no, it's service, and it's treating people every single day like, it is the most important day of their lives. And as we started growing our staff, we made it very clear that that's how we work here. So, and I think the agents feel it. We really do care. And, during times like this, it's really showing, and, seeing everybody come together. Now, as far as like the brand and the marketing, I knew that, when we started this, that you couldn't just grow a company just on service. These agents do need more. And it's a good starting point, but we, we, um, we really wanted to develop the brand in a different way. We knew we were going up against some monsters. There's some great companies out there, some companies that have been here a very long time, and these agents here in Birmingham, especially, are very hung up on some of these brokerages, and they're great brokerages, and they've done an unbelievable job for a long, long time. And I knew I was a little guy that was coming into this big market here in Michigan, which is, Birmingham is a very, very strong market. That we had to be different, and we really said we're going to invest in the brand. We're going to do things that no other brokerage is investing in, because it was a lot of print, it was a lot of traditional ads, it was a lot of, like, putting stuff in magazines, and there wasn't much digital going on. And we've developed a huge team around that, and it's not easy. You watch this stuff on social media and you think, oh, I could do that. And no, it's a production. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, and we're just getting into it, and we have a long way to go with it. But it's pretty cool watching it from my seat grow into where it's going.
Yeah, it is. It's great for my seat too to watch how you guys have grown. But let's talk about two things you talk about, because I think it's really important, especially in today's market, right? So today it's April 22nd. We are working from home. Everybody's navigating through COVID. You just kind of talked about service, but how do you service people today? Not just you, but in general. I mean, today I think service is redefined in this current space that we're in right now. How from your perspective, and how is DOBI servicing their clients?
Right now, it's when we say servicing our clients, as an employee of DOBI, as working here at DOBI, and our staff, our clients are agents. We've said that from day one. Our agents' clients are buyers and sellers. And how is the staff servicing our agents during these times? That we're really just being there for them, educating them. Every time we're constantly looking for ways to reach out to them, and making sure we're adding value, because we're on week 5 now, and you see you see attitude starting to change. Week 1, week 2, you're a little scared. Week 3, you're like, all right, I got this. Week 5, we're starting to see, you know, some people getting a little down, and it's really just being there. And we're constantly talking about, you know, to be a good agent isn't just working with buyers and sellers. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. I always tell people, you know, sales is 25% of our business. There's a whole nother part to it that everybody needs to be working on. And that's what this time is really for. You need to be educated, not just in the market, but in everything. You need to be reading. You need to be building, you know, your health. You need to be building a relationship. So we're telling everybody, get on the phone, call, be sincere, see how people are doing. You're not asking for buyers and sellers right now. Who do you know looking to buy or sell a home? That's not what we do. Our thing is relationships, and right now is when relationships really show. So as far as the staff goes, we're coaching and mentoring in those with that stuff. And we're getting on, you know, Zoom calls weekly and having fun and still doing happy hours with everybody and trying to build morale up. And that's, we're a family. So we're all coming together and being there for each other. As far as our agents go and how, you know, what they're doing, it's all across the board. I mean, some of our agents have gotten really creative, but it's really just reaching out to their sphere, making sure that everybody's okay and kind of doing the same thing we're doing for them. Because you can't sell right now. We can't be out showing homes. We can't be, you know, what can you be doing? But we do know that when this thing is lifted, we can, we need to, there's a pepped up demand. There are going to be people who want to go out and look at homes. So the last half of the year, you know, we can really make up a lot of ground. But the ones who are not making those calls, the ones who are not doing the things that they're supposed to be doing, are going to have a terrible year. I mean, and you can see it. So.
Yeah, I love how you talk about, and I love how you invest in your people when you talk about just being there for them and mentoring them. And one of the things I think is so amazing about your company is the freedom that I see on social media of all of the agents being able to also build their own personal brand. And can you talk a little bit about that? Because I think some companies have a hard time kind of allowing people to really kind of be themselves and show themselves. And I'm a big believer that the way you do it is the way to do it, because people want to connect emotionally with people and a brand. And so a company brand and the people within it. So can you kind of just talk about that a little bit? Because I think that's a huge differentiator, I think, for one of the great things about DOBI.
Thank you. Yeah, we everyone's different. So, and when you sell homes, I was an agent for years, and I had a certain, my people used me, right? But I didn't need to sell homes to anybody and everybody. I didn't need to relate to anybody and everybody. I needed my 40 to 50 transactions a year to keep me busy, and I needed to make sure that I could relate to those people. So I tell people all the time, I tell agents all the time that you're going to get different types of people calling you, right? But you don't have to appeal to the masses. If you are who you are and be somebody, that you want to be, the people who you'll attract people like you. Yeah. And you'll actually enjoy doing business. So, because you'll be working with like-minded people. So if you try to be someone that you're not, it doesn't show. You're going on appointments with people that you can't relate to. And you work, in real estate, you work with people for, a month to a year, 2 years sometimes. And if you're not, seeing eye to eye, or you can't relate, it's a big deal. So we do have, brand guidelines, and we do tell everybody, look, we're DOBI. DOBI is our brand, is our company, but your name is your brand. So you need to go out and do what you need to do to express that to the world and show everybody that you're who you are, and you will attract like-minded, people who are like you. And we're here to support them with that. Our marketing team has done an unbelievable job. Alicia, who's our marketing director, is unbelievable, and her team is awesome. And she really, takes it serious, and it shows, because, it's not just, hey guys, everybody has a different look and a different brand. That doesn't work. That's not who we are. But we're DOBI. We are DOBI, and everybody, your name is your brand, and and she does an unbelievable job, and her team does an unbelievable job supporting the agents and giving them the tools they need to go out and do those things. And a lot of our agents, go above and beyond the team, and they figure out their own ways, and they kill it in that regard. So, there are some people that just take it to another level, but DOBI gives them a good base, and she, that team is awesome.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. Simon, how do you think what's happening with COVID right now is going to change not only, well, your industry first and foremost moving forward, but just business in general?
It's definitely going to be changed. I mean, we're going to feel it for a while. I mean, it may be forever. I don't know. I don't think anybody knows, John. I really don't. I think we're all making guesses, but I can see like the people in our industry are talking about virtual tours, right? You're talking about how a virtual tour, you start selling homes through virtual tours. And I agree, you are going to get people who don't mind buying a home through a virtual tour, but a lot of people, when it comes to your home, I mean, that's where you live. You want to feel it. You want to touch it. You want to see the views. You want to feel the space. And a virtual tour doesn't really give you that. What I do think a virtual tour will do, and this is one example of probably many things that are going to be coming, but a virtual tour might be, instead of 30 people going through your house for a showing, it might only allow 3 or 4, because you see the virtual tour, you realize, this really isn't for me, and you don't go. Because we go on a lot of appointments where buyer walks in, and 3 minutes there, walks right out. And those virtual tours might eliminate a lot of that access to your homes. Definitely showings with gloves and masks. The actual workspace. I mean, we have an open floor plan collaborative workspace, and I'd be lying to you to tell you it wasn't a concern of mine. But revamping some things here that might make some more sense to create some separation. And how long you need to do that for, I don't know. I don't think anybody knows. But it is definitely going to be different. And I think as far as the COVID goes, it's really just a matter of how long is this going to last. If it lasts a longer time, it's going to change the industry greatly. If we can end it soon, which I don't know the answer. We might have a chance of getting back to some sort of normalcy in the near future, and there's not that many dramatic changes, to how we actually communicate and be around people.
Yeah. How are you and your family doing?
We're great. My wife is awesome. My wife does an unbelievable job, letting me do what I need to do and be on the phone all day and take care of the kids. And we're taking turns. I'm trying to jump in for an hour a day or 2 hours a day, because she works hard too with her day job, and she's awesome at it, her and her team. But we're great. I mean, my kids are 2 years, 2.5. They don't know what's going on. They're just happy we're home every day. They'd like to see their cousins, I know that, but we're having a blast. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, of course, my heart and prayers go out to all of those affected by COVID, but I am really grateful. You talked earlier about, the most important day of your life when it came to hospitality, buying a home, etc. Every day is great, because I'm spending way more time with my 2 teenage kids who are 14 and 17 and have worlds of their own prior to this. We're having dinner every night, making dinner, having dinner, more Monopoly than I think I've played in the last couple of years. So it's great. So, there's a lot of I feel like I find myself having a lot of gratitude all throughout the day. And I do think that's one thing that coming out of all of this, people are those personal values are gonna hopefully kind of stick with people, and just there'll be a higher level of consciousness with it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that took things for granted. I know I did. My wife is Chaldean Italian, and there was a Chaldean wedding every weekend for the last 12 years I've been with her. And now I'm just like, man, I would love to go to a wedding right now and get dressed up. And those are things that you took for granted. And,
right.
And, I do. I think as nasty as this thing is, it might be necessary in some areas.
Right. Yeah. It created a pause. I think many of us needed. Yeah. So Simon, your business, DOBI's been around for a while. You guys are building it. You have grown so quickly. What does the next 5 years look like for DOBI? or 3 years?
We're going to continue to grow. I think, we have to. We're not in a, we're not, I'm not, we are, we're not, we don't have the mindset of just kind of staying still. I think the business plan is going to change a little bit based on the market and what happens here. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for growth when this kind of stuff happens. Our team is, a lot of the stuff we're working on right now from home is future stuff. So I see really over the next 5 years growing to multiple locations. What a location looks like might change a little bit. If people are feeling more comfortable working from home, you might not need as much space. But really branching into other areas, other markets, keep adding, building and thinking of ways to add value and creating value for our agents. But over the next 5 years, really, doing business in Michigan and becoming, a top brokerage, meaning a top, the number one brokerage in Michigan. That is definitely a goal of ours that we talk about all the time. And number one doesn't necessarily mean sales volume or agent count. It's really about, number one is all of our agents doing our averages are better than everybody else's. And that's something that we really care about, because you come to DOBI to better your business. And we have a very, very long way to go. But, our team is always thinking of ways to make the agent more efficient, make the agent more better, and then and more tools that will help them with their clients. And I think the future is just continuing to do that and have a company that's very long lasting and moving forward every single day. But without getting too into specifics, which we do have a game plan for 5 years, that's where we see it going.
Yeah. And how important, I'm a big believer, you're talking about Alicia and the marketing team and supporting your team with all the right people. I'm a big fan and we've all read it in books and talked about it, the importance of the right people, great people. One of my favorite books is Good to Great. And what Jim Collins talks about is, if you want to be great, then hire and have great people, don't settle. And so how important is it over the next 5 years in particular to have, great people?
It's huge. You need to hire the best. And you really, I've learned this from, the interview process is a big deal. So, a lot of people can tell you what you want to hear, get through the front door, and then, they are not who they say they are. So the interview, before growing DOBI, I used to read books and, talk to other friends that own companies, and the interview process and the recruiting process is something they always stressed on. And I was, you just, when you meet them, you'll know. And, you don't. I mean, you really need to put these people through the ringer before joining your team, and they need to have a great resume because it will show. And the amount of business you can do with good people around you is insane. And a lot of people hire not the right people for these positions. And then they get emotionally attached to them because they're good people. They're not great at their jobs, and it makes your company mediocre. And that's that we cannot do. We can't afford to do that. And it wouldn't be doing our agents any justice. I mean, like I said, our agents came here to really grow their business, and hiring people from other industries is a huge deal too. So that was something that when we started, we said, we can't just hire people from other brokerages. We need to hire people from other industries, and they bring a totally different look, ideas that we haven't even thought of, and it's helping us change some things in the real estate world.
Yeah, that's so smart. I've interviewed a lot of people in my day, just in careers that I've had, and I find whether it's 2, 3, 4 interviews, you always still hope that the person that you interviewed actually shows up to work, right? And that person actually shows up for more than 90 days and really can help elevate the business. So yeah, recruiting is tough. I think a lot of times people don't take it seriously enough, but it is a process, and it definitely takes time. All right, Simon, what's a book you've read lately that's one of your favorite books in quarantine?
So I've been pushing in the 12-week year. I I really, really like that book. It hits home a lot with, for me and also my agents. I think our agents are amazing, but myself included, there are days where you need to just kind of get a little bit more focused and
Yeah.
organized. And the 12-week year is a great book. Another agent in our company, Brooke, who recommended it to me, and she's a very disciplined agent, and she's new, and she's gonna kill it in this industry, because she follows this stuff to a T, and you can see it in 8-9 months she's been doing this. Her business, how it's just exploding, and the impact she's making on our company. But yeah, it's a great book.
So I cleaned out my basement this past weekend, and I had all of these books that I hadn't read, and so I put them. I put them in a big bag to donate a ton, and I kept a couple. And one of the ones that I kept, which I had bought years ago and never read, was the 12-week year. So literally Saturday, I just found that book in my basement, and I'm going to read it for sure now.
Great book.
I just downloaded on Audible, The Hard Things About Hard Things.
Ben Horowitz.
Yeah.
Yeah, great book.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to reading it.
That's a
All
great
right,
novel. Yeah.
Simon, I can't end without asking the best piece of wisdom your dad ever gave you.
Result orientated. Figure it out. We lived on a 4-acre lot in Rochester, and I'll never forget this. We had, it was all wooded leaves, and every year he wanted us to do the leaves. And my brothers went away to school, and I was home, and he was like, go outside and do the leaves. And we had like a rake. We never had the right tools to get anything done. And I remember walking inside and being like, Dad, all we have is like a one rake for this 4-acre lot that's wooded, and you want all the leaves bagged, can't burn them. You want them bagged. And he said, be result orientated, son, figure it out, and I'll never forget that. It was something that, he could have went to Home Depot and bought me all the right tools, but he was teaching me a lesson. At the time I didn't realize it, but he was, he could have, it wasn't like an affordability thing. He knew what he was doing. And I think about that every day when we, go to work here. So when you have an issue, it's like, figure it out. There's no playbook for this. We're going to get through it.
I love that story for so many reasons. One, because it's just wisdom from your dad. But two, when I was a kid, I went to Tamarack camps, and they had something called I can't remember what it was called. I think it was called Pioneer. I can't remember what it was called, but they had a ropes course, and you would go with your whole cabin, and there would be, 10, 20 kids, and they would say, you have to go from here to, 20 feet from here, all of you, but you can only you can only step on this piece of wood. And when you're a kid, especially, even as an adult, I did it, but you think that's impossible. But it's to your dad's theory. We had to figure it out. And sometimes we'd sit there for 3 hours trying to figure it out, and you try it, it doesn't work. They would say, if you touch the sand, it's quicksand, you have to start all over again. And so those types of lessons are great and stick with you.
Very important.
Yeah. All right, Simon Thomas, CEO of DOBI Real Estate. Tell everybody how they can get a hold of you, Simon.
You could definitely call, text, email. My email is simon@wearedobi.com. My direct number is 248-840-7722. Call, text, email. I'm available whenever you guys would like.
Simon, I appreciate your wisdom. I love what you have built, what you continue to build, the spirit, the brand that you built. You are a great example of hard work, fresh, innovative ideas, and putting your people first and investing in your people. And it's always great connecting with you, and I appreciate you sharing all that today.
Thanks, John. We really appreciate you, and through these hard times, you've been a coach of ours, and we can't thank you enough. We've got a great compliments about you, and everybody's loving your trainings that you do for us. So can't thank you enough for that, especially during these times. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, everybody. That was great, Simon.